A very good evening to all of you. I know you're all just waiting when this man will conclude and when we'll get out of the house hall. I know pretty well I will not take much of your time. Quickly we'll go through our slides and I'll conclude fast. See, everybody is talking assessment and all. And my earlier speakers also, they spoke many aspects of assessment. And what I am going to discuss also maybe somewhere you will find, what you call it is overlapping of these things. And how has the assessment changed? Why don't we give them tests anymore as per our previous practice? Why has assessment changed? What does authenticate assessment look like in a 21st century school? How do we get our parent community to understand why a test and a ranking is not always the best? Then what does the 21st century learning say? Assessment is integral to all teaching and learning. The prime objective of assessment is to provide feedback on the learning process. Schools are expected to develop assessment procedures and methods reporting that reflect the philosophy and objectives of the program run by the school. Why don't we give tests anymore? There is of course a quotation also here. Much of the learning and traditional systems of imposed instruction is for the purpose of passing the next test. Information is put onto the brains in a closed file as soon as the test is over because it has already served its purpose. This is given by Lynn Stoddard, Resident Education. Exam time. Describe a memory of assessment that you have from your school days. It can be positive or negative. Just to quote an example, when I was in school, maybe I think it was 3rd grade or 4th grade, I was trained to write a composition on a cow. And after some time, my father got transferred to some other place and I had to join some other school. And I was asked to write a composition on a goat. I didn't know what to write. So whatever I have learnt in the previous class, I have just applied that. It will have 4 legs, 1 head, 2 arms, and it will give milk. Like this, what previous knowledge I had in my memory, that only I applied, and I did that composition there. What did it really tell you, your teacher and your parents, about your ability, and more importantly, what you needed to be able to grow and develop in this area? So like this, previously the exam pattern and the assessment pattern used to be there. Why is the new way better? Students whose teachers emphasize higher order of thinking skills and hands-on learning activities outperform their peers significantly. Hereafter, we will be discussing about the advantages of the latest assessment and how it enables the students to improve their knowledge, the reasoning power, the critical analysis, and how they can outperform their peers. Students who engage in hands-on learning on a weekly basis outperform those who engage in the manner of instruction on a monthly basis. Students whose teachers conduct hands-on learning activities outperform their peers by 72% of grade level in maths and 40% of a grade level in science. So this study indicates that the most effective classroom practices involve conveying higher order thinking skills and engage in hands-on learning activities. This is Educational Testing Service of 2001. How has the teaching and learning changed? Humans possess multiple intelligence, according to Gardner. We do not all learn the same way, therefore, why would we teach all students in the same way or expect them to demonstrate their understandings in the same way? Our teaching challenges students to think, not to just remember hearts and lots, that is higher order of thinking skills and lower order of thinking skills. Digital kids' brains are different. Visual cortex is 15% than 15 years ago and 87% of kids are visual kinesthetic learners. Add or boredom, the word has moved on, brains have adopted, so must the way they teach and assess. See, as the good practice of learning, if a teacher teaches well, then the higher order thinkings and lower order thinkings will be like this. If they only, and on your right side you will find the average retention capacity of the child, and the items go like this: read, hear, 2 or more media, demonstration, discussion and demonstration, practice by doing, teaching others, immediate application. So this order follows. The last one, teaching and others, immediate application, will have 90% of the retaining capacity, and it will also develop higher order thinking skills. And as the pyramid goes up to the peak, it develops only the lower order thinking skills. How has the assessment changed? Quickly we'll go through this. The traditional assessment and the 21st century assessment. The purpose, and the traditional assessment caters only to rank and compare them, and the present one to find out what students know and can do. Types of assessments: tests, exams, essays, and all written work only. Tests, exams, essays, oral presentations, multimedia presentations, spreadsheets, drama, models, posters, interviews, teaching others, documentaries, use of multiple intelligences. Preparation: no knowledge of what would be assessed, mug up on every subject. Teacher will give some topic, you by heart it, and just you reproduce it. But in the present century it is not that way. Continuous students know how and ahead of time and what will be assessed and how it will be assessed. Students have access to the standards, rubrics that they must reach and know what they have to do to achieve a certain grade. Next, timings at the end of the unit or semester or year. Continuous assessment throughout, and plenty of opportunities for correction, feedback and improvement. What did it test? In the traditional this one, it tests only knowledge, and in the assessment, the present days, knowledge, skills, concepts, attitudes and action. Of course, 5 essential elements of the PYP. Then what does it teach? In the traditional assessment, tests are scary, knowledge of everything is essential, high test scores, high intelligences, we need to be good at taking tests. We can demonstrate our understandings in a variety of ways. Everyone learns differently, everyone develops their understandings at a different rate. Then what does it value? Here it is performance, the learning process, the skills developed. When the content is forgotten, the skills remain. Even if you forget the subject, the skills will remain, and these skills will be useful to us throughout our life, wherever we go, whichever course we are doing, at any part of our life. Then teachers. Then here it is a teacher centered, and here it is student centered. Learning is, in the traditional system, abstract, meaningless and easily forgotten. Here in the present days, it is conceptualized, meaningful, relevant and mentorable. Why has assessment changed? Because our children are living and learning in the 21st century and need a set of skills relevant to the 21st century workplace, which include the ability to think, problem solving, communicate effectively and work with the others. So, to empower the students, the present assessment helps in various ways. Then, what makes the assessment authentic? G, a real world goal, or a meaningful role for the student. A real world of audience. Yes, a real world situation. P, student generated products and performances. Yes, agreed standards for judging the students. In addition, where possible, we offer choice to cater for our students' learning styles and multiple intelligences. What are the kinds of assessment tools, strategies to achieve the above set skills? What are the tools we administer, we implement on the students? These could be presentations. Students will present and they will give reports. They will be asked to study something and submit a report. And photo and video evidence, they take these snaps and videos and they present it. And detailed reading analysis, developmental continuums, interviews, they interview people, dignitaries, and they collect the information and they submit the report on that. And self-assessment, they assess themselves and they also do some reflections, portfolios, observations. These are the tools which are administered to empower the students with the above set skills. And authentic assessment, why should we assess students be the same if the students are all different places in the continuum of learning? Authentic assessment gives students the opportunity to best display their learnings. So these are some of the hands-on learning slides what we have. The students here, cookies in the jar become soggy because of air if we don't close the lid properly, so air is everywhere, just to make them feel that air is present everywhere. This is a hands-on experience they will experience with this. Similarly, understanding the characters, retelling the story, they take the puppets and they tell some stories. Remember the learning permit, teaching others immediate application, highest level of retention and most meaningful learning. And assessment tasks, bookmaking and demonstration, when the students do themselves, they'll remember it for a long time. And students are making higher order which help them to develop the higher order thinking skills, and hands-on learning activities outperform their peers significantly. Education Testing Service Report 2001. And the value of reflection. See, we have a concept in our school, we conduct what is student-led conference. So on that day, the parents are invited, and each student will take the parents to their classroom, and he or she will explain what she has been doing, what she has done. This is an excellent tool for the students to reflect themselves, explain to their parents what is happening in the school, and thereby any parent who sees his kid in action explaining what is happening in the school, he will be simply excited, he will be simply thrilled, and he will have all the praise for the institution too. In times radical change, the learners inherit the earth while they find themselves perfectly to deal with the world that no longer exists. This is a quotation from Eric Hoffer. And the famous practical points which all of us should remember: I hear and I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. Thank you.